What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, happy Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Still feels like the weekend to me. It's weird.
Man, it flew by. The weekend always seems to fly by. But, dude, you know what you can do? You can always hit us up live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, or over on YouTube. You can join us there as well. Inside the Game Official. Yeah, somebody needs to give us our name back over there. I tell you, YouTube helps out. Somebody's stolen our name. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, we got a hot show today. Amy Hennig returns with a new studio and is working on a Marvel game. Yo, dude, I can't wait. I need to know more, but we don't know much, but we'll get into that. Tencent aims for PC and console, and Ubisoft goes crypto.
Yeah, I've been seeing little whispers of that one. That's a curious situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on with that, and I don't know how I quite feel about it exactly, but we'll get into that. But right now, let's get started, because Uncharted... Amy Hennig working on a new Marvel title at Skydance and New Media. Hennig and EA vet Julian Beek have formed a new studio within Sky Media to work on a new Marvel title. This comes from Stephanie over at VG247. Dude, yeah, let's get going, because what an exciting little news segment here for Amy to finally be back. Well, she's been kind of dipping her toes in and out just because of, well, we'll get into what's going on with her. It's been, dude, she kind of reminds me of Jade Raymond.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? She gets studio, then they cancel it. But yeah, Skydance New Media, a new division of Skydance Media, helmed by award-winning writer and director Amy Hennig, has announced a partnership with Marvel Entertainment to develop a AAA narrative-driven action-adventure game. It will feature a completely original story and take on the Marvel universe. Dude, Marvel's on fire right now. Like, they've been...
Out of the 100 years of Marvel timeline, is there anything they have not done?
Well, it's just, dude, they're nailing it. They're picking the right studio, I think, is the biggest thing. And they're creating the right games, right? We see Spider-Man just flourish with Insomniac games. You now see Insomniac go in the world of Wolverine. So that's cool to see that that's coming our way,
That's
too.
what I'm excited about.
So, dude, now that they're partnering with Amy as well, oh man, she's one of the narrative writers for Uncharted. Yep, I'm all over that. The game will be, the game will be the first from the new AAA game studio, which was formed by Hennig and Electronic Arts veteran Julian Beek. Quote, I can't imagine a better partner than Marvel for our first game. Dude, their first game, they're coming out swinging for the fence. This is Amy, who president of the Skydance New Media. The Marvel Universe optimizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp of action. Oh man, let me start over here. The Marvel Universe optimizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp action genre that I adore, and lends itself perfectly to a narrative experience. Dude, that's what Amy does. Like, this is the most exciting thing. Scott, if you had to pick a Marvel IP, what would it be that you would get Amy to work on?
Oh, that's a tough question, actually, because when it comes to Marvel, Spider-Man's the one I think of course.
Oh, of course,
But,
sure.
I've been joking about it for so long now, I have to mention Static Shock. He's not part of the Marvel Universe. He's in a little individual bubble, but if they could just absorb him, as Spider-Man has been absorbed several times, that would be something I'd get excited about. But do you think they're going to do a Daredevil?
Well, that's a good point. I was thinking either Daredevil or Deadpool. Right?
Okay, Deadpool is being very popular. That makes a lot of sense.
It does, but if we could do a Daredevil, like the Marvel Netflix series for Daredevil, I absolutely adored. Or how about Punisher?
Seen the Marvel or the Netflix one. Punisher, that's my favorite superhero.
I don't see Amy working on a Punisher title. If you come from the Uncharted world, right? That doesn't really seem to line itself up the way I would think Amy to be working on her next title.
Although the Punisher does commit murder quite like Nathan Drake.
Well, there's nothing like Nathan Drake blasting away thousands of enemies and just not thinking anything of it. But yeah, we talked about that forever. But we also have another quote. It's an honor to be able to tell an original story with all the humanity, complexity, and humor that makes Marvel characters so endearing, and to enable our players to embody these heroes that they love. So who, that's what, like, the Punisher just doesn't, I don't feel it. But if you think, like, well, even like Deadpool's a little crude, right?
Yeah,
to
it's
say
a
the
little
least.
out there.
Yeah, a little crude. But dude, maybe Daredevil is the way to go, right? Not Deadpool. We'll go with Daredevil. He's got a wittiness. He kind of reminds me, if you think about it, he's one of the closest characters to Nathan Drake. I wonder if that's where they're gonna go.
Similar. Do you remember that movie that came out in like the 2000s, the Daredevil one?
With Ben Affleck?
I liked it, but I've heard since then it was awful. But they need to do something good in that universe.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Amy would be the one to bring it back, right? You remember when she was working over at EA, she worked on a title called 1313, which then from EA was told that nobody wants single player games. Well, you hired Amy, who creates single player stories. So, like, why wouldn't you focus and let her do her thing? And then you get Jedi Fallen Order years later. Dude, if they would have let Amy do her thing with 1313, wow. I wonder if we'll ever see that game.
It's so overlooked, the single player narrative driven story. It's so
Uh,
overlooked. PlayStation does it the best, I think.
yeah.
And there's just needs to be more of it. Whoever these producers are that think we don't want these games, well, that's just silly. We need to move on.
Absolutely, dude. But we'll see what happens there. Let's move on to the world of what Tencent is up to. Tencent targets AAA with Tamai Studios' Honor of Kings World. The Chinese games giant bringing open world Unreal powered spin off to the flagship franchise. This comes from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. Tencent owned Tamai Studio Group has unveiled its first entry into the AAA game space as it attempts to reach a more global audience. Honor of Kings World is an open world game with multiple platforms. Tamai has yet to specify which, but the gameplay trailer and high-end graphics powered by Unreal Engine suggest PC and console. Dude, you ready for this? Listen to this. It is a spin-off from Tencent's hugely popular MOBA from the mobile direction, of which it's the first mobile game to surpass $10 billion in player spending.
Holy. In player spending, too.
Oh,
Is this a free to play game that.
dude, that's huge. Like,
That's
that is
massive. Even if it's
massive.
$10 and it's not free to play, that's still insane money.
Yep, absolutely. That's huge dollars in that world. Then now, so if you're already basically, if you own the mobile direction, the whole mobile market, why not see what you can do to take over into the world of consoles and PC, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. So
We're seeing the opposite happen with a lot of console developers coming with mobile games as well. We're getting that cross pollination.
No, for sure. According to Sensor Tower, Honor of Kings has generated $2 billion so far just in 2021. Man, like it's just a giant, right? In addition to Honor of Kings, Tamai Studio Group is best known for mobile games such as Call of Duty and Pokemon Unite, the latter of which is also available for Switch. So yeah, they're definitely doing things right over there. There's no doubt about that. Tencent has previously attempted to bring King of Honor or Honor of Kings to the West, rebranding it as Arena of Valor. Dude, I like Arena of Valor. I played that mobile game and it is fantastic. It is definitely it's not Paragon, but I do get a good connection with that one. I jumped in. It's also on the Switch as well. So I was able to go in on both mobile and Switch. And there's a lot going on. MOBAs are tough to get into. I think there's an entry to kind of bear when you're getting into the MOBA space to learn the ins and outs of the characters. Who do they counter? How do you counteract with, the abilities that are getting sent your way? Who do you partner with? Who do you team up with? What lane do you take? Do you ride in the middle? Do you take the jungle? It's just, there's a lot to it. So if you don't understand a MOBA, man, it can be pretty daunting to try and get into.
Yeah, you need to find your own flavor MOBA too. I find that helps a lot.
Yes.
League of Legends didn't really hold it for me, but we got into Crucible, and by the end of that, I was actually really into it. But
that's he says. Yeah, Crucible unfortunately is no longer. I don't know if we'll ever see it back either. I think Amazon has just kind of more or less shuttered it down. So,
yeah, it seems that way.
Dude, let's move on to what Ubisoft is up to. Is Ubisoft announced plans to develop play-to-earn blockchain and NFT games. Oh man,
I'm not sure what NFT games would really entail. Is this like a Amiibo Nintendo situation?
So this comes from Nika over at IB Times. French game developer and publisher Ubisoft has shared their plans to be the key player in the industry when it comes to developing projects based on the play-to-earn concept. Blockchain technology and NFTs have begun disrupting the gaming industry. This it has. Though Valve previously removed blockchain and NFTs on Steam, other platforms like Epic Games have become more welcoming. Now, it looks like Ubisoft wants to take part in the action. The company did not only invest in Monaco brands, but a blockchain gaming company, but also announced its plans to integrate blockchain technology into the video games releasing in the future. It is worth noting, however, that the company's plans remain vague to this day. Play to earn is a hazy concept that allows game developers to give away cryptocurrency in exchange to playing the game. Scott, I almost feel like it's like a pay to play or a pay to win scenario. You know what I mean?
Well, it sounds like they're offering to give you some cryptocurrency for playing. That sounds kind of backwards just in general, because
Sure.
now you're going to get these people farming it, mining it, so to speak, and that
Yeah.
draws attention to your game. But the game feels like a propped up, phony storefront at that point.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's something about it, it's just this. It doesn't quite sit well with me, right? The executive who believes blockchain is very attractive for the long term said the company is interested in creating digital economies. So if we jump into the next Assassin's Creed and it's got a blockchain scenario in this thing, right? NFTs are there. We're playing to get in-game currency. So if you already play, so let's do it this way, because we're just big fans of Rainbow Six, for example. You earn renown as you play the game, right? And then you physically buy R6 credits. So there are certain items within the store you have to spend real world money on, or there's other items that you use the renown. That's the stuff, that's the in-game currency you earn for playing. So now are we going away with the in-game currency and we're going to this blockchain scenario? Is that what it's basically converting into?
Well, this is making me worry, actually, because if there's a similar currency that's happening, this cryptocurrency that's given out, can I be really good at Halo and then move into the next Battlefield with an advantage because I already have those funds saved up?
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's just going to make pay to win stronger in a way that we're not quite familiar with.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest fears. It's kind of like that loot box scenario. I think that's where we're starting to tread waters here with, and we'll see how that kind of plays out and what developers do to make us feel comfortable as a consumer moving into this market, right? Like we're so used to just either buy your game or you get into your game and you can buy the battle pass, or you choose not to. And that's kind of how we live right now. Whenever you introduce a new paying mechanic, it brings up a lot of red flags, and you got to be able to ease in the players. You got to ease in the consumers into this world, so we don't feel like, honestly, that we're just getting screwed over. I think that's the biggest thing moving forward, right? Just make sure that. Go ahead, Scott.
If it functioned a little bit like Canadian Tire money, then that's something I could get behind a lot more. But then again, you don't want to spend money to get money back. It's I'm just thinking of my gamer score. If there was a way I could get kickbacks, 10 cents for every.
Dude, can you imagine?
I'd be buying a G-Wagon tomorrow.
But it's cryptocurrency, right? So I get it's like real money, and my cousin there just jumped into Twitch chat. Hey, what's up, buddy? And he's into some of this crypto stuff, and like I'm curious how I haven't really dove in enough to get a good understanding of where it lands. And there's like that Bitcoin whole scenario too, right? Where you buy this online currency, but it doesn't feel like, for me right now, it doesn't feel like it's real tangible money. It's not like the cash I can put in my hand. It's just like swipe on my debit card, you know what I mean? Gone.
Well, and it's only a few places that accept that form of debit at that, so it does get kind of muddled. But well, I wish I had jumped on that 10 years ago, though. Again, be a millionaire.
Well, again, right? You can cash it out, right? Absolutely. It said, we got a quote here from Yves Guillemot. As you see, the industry is changing regularly with lots of new revolutions happening. We consider blockchain one of those revolutions. It will imply more play to earn that will enable more players to actually earn content, own content, and we think is going to grow the industry quite a lot. That's Yves' comment right there, Scott. So you can earn content, own content, and help grow the industry. Well, I think it's the own content that kind of gets me a little nervous and a little wary of where we stand then, right? So when I buy the next Assassin's Creed title, do I not own it? Technically, I guess, would they take down the servers? I won't own it anyways because I'm such a digital age right now when it comes to gaming. But it makes me a little nervous to go, if I paid for it though, like I paid for that, I should own that.
Don't I own it? That brings up an old copyright argument that I'm thinking of, which is, if I bought the game, is it not mine? Can I make a digital backup? That was allowed for a long time.
Right.
I think nowadays, if you do that, the company will land a helicopter in your backyard. So it's not a good idea. But it makes me wonder, to what degree do I own something, even if it's spent with their currency?
Yeah.
Am I going to own a DLC pack? Well, what does that do for me? I don't.
Good question. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know at this point, right? I think that's the biggest thing moving forward, especially when we're getting into this whole crypto and, you know, the blockchain, all this kind of stuff moving forward. I saw recently too, our friends over at Skyweaver, if you have played that game, it's a card game, but they're heavily involved in the blockchain. That's what they do, right? So, but it doesn't seem to have disrupted their game whatsoever. So maybe this isn't such a bad thing, but there's definitely a lot of, you know, red flags popping up and kind of make me a little nervous to see where we head next. But as I said, I haven't been following the whole blockchain and NFT scenario. So it's something I definitely want to look into, especially now that our industry is starting to get heavily involved within it, Scott. Where do we stand with this, right? How is this going to work? Are we going to get to where we want it to be? Or are we going to get screwed over in the end as a consumer like we did a long time ago with loot boxes? Or are we going to get that loot box situation and then we'll move into like this battle pass, so they kind of balance things out a bit more, right? So many questions, Scott. So many questions.
Yeah, I just don't understand the technology enough to know how it's going to be applied. And
Absolutely.
Because of that, I'm worried that somebody's going to use it for evil.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely, buddy. But we'll see. We were talking about mobile not too long ago, Scott. Let's get going with some more. League of Legends Wild Rift generates over $150 million.
Holy, there's still hunger for League of Legends.
Well, that's the thing. So they just recently, Riot Games just recently brought it over to the world of mobile, right? So a MOBA game reaches consumer spending milestone a year after release. This comes from Jeffrey Russo over at GamesIndustry.biz. Riot Games' free-to-play MOBA League of Legends Wild Rift has generated over $150 million in global consumer spending after releasing in October 2020, according to the app Annie. The app analytics firm said that the game reached the milestone 370 days after launch. So,
oh, that is a money-making machine,
right? Oh, man, the United States and Brazil.
Free-to-play title.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the biggest highlight right there, is that we've seen Fortnite move to this free-to-play model. And dude, like so many, mobile's been doing this for a long time, that whole free-to-play situation. But I think where we really noticed it as more kind of the PC console gamer, it was with Fortnite. And then you saw Call of Duty do it with Warzone, right? But the United States and Brazil reported as the top countries where players spend the most on Wild Rift. By comparison, Tencent's Honor of Kings hit 150 million in 249 days, whereas Arena of Valor did the same in 543 days. Mobile Legends Bang Bang reached, what the heck is that? Reached the goal within 670 days. What is, dude, have you heard of that? Legends Bang Bang.
I have not. That's a new one to
me. I'm not even going to touch that one, Scott. Wild Rift is Riot's most successful foray into mobile so far, with Sensor Tower reporting that it brings in more in player spending than Team Fight Tactics and Legends of Runeterra combined.
Okay, well, I've heard of Runeterra, but
yeah, me too.
I'm not sure what Teamfight Tactics is.
Teamfight Tactics is so Dota did something like that. And,
okay.
Yeah, it's a top-down. You got, I believe, I'm speculating here because I haven't even really played it, but I've seen a lot on it. But yeah, there's like 4 teams, and they kind of battle. It's almost like a chessboard, and they kind of battle in this top-down thing. Yeah, and then Legends of Runeterra is a card game. And that didn't really take off too well. But yeah, apparently Wild Rift has been on fire.
I tried to play 4-player chess one time, and that becomes an exercise of diplomacy.
Yeah, no thanks. That's for sure. Yeah, not for me, buddy. It's, dude, yeah, I'm excited for the next one. Let's get into the next what's going on here, because we have something going to the world of PlayStation Now. Mafia Definitive Edition and more coming in the world of PlayStation Now for November. This comes from the PlayStation blog. The Definitive Edition faithfully recreates the organized crime epic, which with expanded story plus gameplay and visual improvements. Rise through the ranks of the Mafia during the Prohibition era. Experience a faithfully recreated 1930s cityscape. Dude, I absolutely adore Mafia. And then they came out with the whole Mafia trilogy. Got the trilogy. It is the Mafia Definitive Edition. Went back to play 1. It is a stunning game. dude. It's a lot
I
slower.
really like number 2.
but-
2 is the one for me. That
Was
one
it?
was so good when I played it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. We're also getting totally reliable delivery service. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, I do know what that is.
Do
That's
you?
kind of a silly game. Yeah, it was on Game Pass or Games for Gold, I think.
Gotcha.
It's a fast arcadey kind of racer game.
Okay, we also getting
Wow.
Final Fantasy. Dude, what number is that? 9, 8?
9, yeah.
It's 9, eh? Final Fantasy 9 and Celeste. Celeste is a wicked title as well.
Yes, if you're into any sort of competitive level of platforming, Celeste is something to check out for sure.
No, without a doubt. We also have games coming to the world of Game Pass. Minecraft, Java, and Red Rock editions coming to PC on November 2nd. That would be today. Unpacking comes to cloud, console, and PC. And that's a day 1 release. It Takes Two comes to cloud, console, and PC November 4th. Kill It With Fire. I don't know what that is exactly, but it's coming to
I
cloud,
saw a
console,
picture
and
of a
PC.
spider on it, and I agree.
That's yeah, I saw that too, actually. Football Manager 2022 Xbox Edition comes to cloud, console, and PC November 9th. Forza Horizon 5 comes to cloud, console, and PC November 9th. That's a day 1 launch. Dude, you ready for this one? Coming to console on Game Pass is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, November 11th. Yeah, and One Step from Eden is also coming to console and PC. Take note, Scott. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas comes to Game Pass November 11th, okay? PlayStation Now, December 7th, gets GTA 3. No Vice City. Dude, if you want Vice City like I do, I gotta buy the whole thing. I thought, man, I wanted Vice
Coming
City.
free to Nintendo Online. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's not.
No, it's probably not, dude.
I would take a China Wars 2, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Man, that's been a while since I heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only one to get to Nintendo. Well, Vice City Stories, but I don't know if those count.
Probably not. No. So, but
Not cool.
either way, dude, what games are out for today?
We have a Legend Pack, the Fortnite Minty Legends Pack. I like the name of that one. That's on everywhere you can get Fortnite. And then we have Tunche, not quite sure how to say that one. That's on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and the PC. Unpacking, as you mentioned, that comes to Xbox One, also Switch and PC. And World War Z comes to the Switch. That's an uncharacteristic one, but I like it.
Absolutely. But dude, that's gonna wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for joining us live. And if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see everybody tomorrow inside the game.